Greetings, fellow mages. Exalt here, bringing you your daily dose of Magic Manastrike. If you're a new player and you're looking to up your game, or if you've been playing for a while now and you simply want a quick refresher, then stick around because this video may just be for you. Now, there are two types of players playing Magic Manastrike. Well, there are many categories, but for now, let's stick to two. Number one would be those who are proactive. These are the players who drop their creatures right away because they have a play in mind. Nothing wrong with that. And there are also those who are, from number two, those who are reactive. And we're going to talk about the latter today because today our topic is winning trades. So what does it mean to win trades? Simply put, winning trades means countering what your opponent has dropped, taking the advantage, and rolling on with it. Right? Oftentimes we see proactive players drop their creatures. So as a reactive player, you have the advantage of taking a look at what the player has dropped in the field and then putting creatures that will counter effectively against the creatures which have been dropped, right? And therefore win the trade. If you win the trade, you can then push on with it, right? For example, the Vraska deck that I use right now has a very simple concept. As you notice, it has plenty of defenders. You have your Accursed Spirit right here. You also have the Giant Spider and Skull Catapult. And we also have Circle of Pain. So you notice that none of those four cards that I've mentioned can actually make a great push for you. I mean, you're not going to drop Circle of Pain right away on your opponent's tower for no reason, right? So the Circle of Pain most of the time is used defensively to stall your opponent and slow the mob down, right? Although there are occasions when you can be proactive with it, right? The winning condition for this deck is very simple. Just make sure that Giraffe's Messenger moves towards the other end, right? And I can do that by making sure that I win the initial trade. I win against the opponent's initial push, and then I drop Giraffe's Messenger. Sometimes I use Giraffe's Messenger as my tank so that it can absorb damage, right? Because it'll revive anyway afterwards. And then moving on with my own push after I've won the trade. Now, winning the trades will require a certain knowledge with the cards. For example, if your opponent drops something like this, Haunted Guardian, which creature should you put down on the field in order to counter that? If you have another Haunted Guardian, well, is it okay for you to drop that Haunted Guardian to fight another Haunted Guardian? If they're of the same level, then we have to realize that no one's going to really win that trade, right? Except the creature who strikes first, right? But in many cases, if you place a Haunted Guardian against another Haunted Guardian, then no one's going to win that trade, right? But as a reactive player, you'd like to win the trade. So what do you put? Perhaps a flying creature to counter that. Perhaps a ranged creature so that the ranged creature can start attacking the Haunted Guardian while it's approaching because it approaches slowly. So something like a Clockwork Beetle might work, right? So a Clockwork Beetle has 3 mana. It will certainly be able to deal with the Haunted Guardian, right? So what happens if the Clockwork Beetles manage to beat the Haunted Guardian? Then you've just won for yourself 3 mana creature, right? So you now have the advantage of having a 3 mana creature, and then you can roll with it. The Clockwork Beetle can serve as your archer because it's ranged, but it's very fragile with 193 HP at level 1, right? So you probably need to put a tank afterwards. So after you win the trade, you have several options. Number 1, to go on with the push. Or number 2, if your defense didn't really paid off a lot, then what you can do is just relax for a bit and wait for how your opponent will react. I've made many mistakes playing this game where I win an initial trade only to lose afterwards because I go on with the push with a not so good, trade. I might have won, but the win wasn't enough for me to really make a big push, right? So just keep that in mind. Let's go for another example. Um, what about the ninja? Do I have any blue right here? All right, this one. What about the ninja of the deep hours? When you see the ninja of the deep hours, which enters the battlefield with shroud, what should we put in the field? You obviously will not put another ninja of the deep hours as well, because they're not gonna see each other, right? Because the ninja of the deep hours only melee attacks buildings, right? Although if you look at his illustration, his knife has blood. So does that mean the buildings bleed? Oh, maybe not. I'm just kidding. All right. So if you see the ninja of the deep hours, what can you do to counter it? You can use the circle of pain. Where's Raska? Come on, Raska. Where are you? All right. You can use the circle of pain to stall it, right? Or you can ratchet bomb it if you want, but in most cases it's not gonna die because it has a good HP. Should I put a flying creature? What do you think? Even if you place a flying creature near your tower or your guardian, the ninja of the deep hours will still be able to slice it at least once or twice, because it's not gonna die right away. Remember that your creature won't be able to see it if it gets shrouded, while it's still shrouded rather. So most of the time what I do is I find myself placing a skull catapult in its path, or in an area where it can be that the ninja would be able to see, so that it gets attracted to the building. So the ninja of the deep hours is 3 mana, costs 3 mana, right? My building costs 3 mana, and most certainly that ninja will die. If the ninja dies, then I have a skull catapult on the field, and that's how I win the trade, right? So how do we see that in reality, right? So let me show you a quick video about how I demonstrate this in a match between Fumox Tutti of Leland. He may be from France. And this is exactly what he uses, right? He uses the ninja of the deep hours. Hello, Tezzeret. How are you, my friend? Has Season 2's updates been very kind to you? Not so much if you're using the River Demon combo together with the Aether Squall, of course. All right, so I am a very reactive player. What I do is I just watch the field first and wait for my opponent to make his first turn. Although there are cases when, you know, I'd be proactive if I feel that I can win the match. All right, so he dropped. Okay, so he dropped this creature, which is a level 6. Right? And I waited for a moment and I dropped this creature. Hold on. Exalt, will that really counter what he just dropped? Both of them are melee creatures, although the spider can attack. Ranged flying creatures in a ranged fashion, right? Does it really? At this point, if I'm looking at my hand, my choices are to put Geralf's Messenger, which is not going to counter it, right? What about this, the Accursed Spirit? Well, the Accursed Spirit walks so fast that by the time this creature gets into the middle, the Accursed Spirit might have already crossed the other side, which means that I have the disadvantage because now my Accursed Spirit may be targeted by the tower's aggro. So you just keep that in mind. How do you win the trade? Is what we're trying to accomplish here, so that we can win. Most of the time, when you're trying to win the trade, you don't end up getting a 3-tower win, right? 1 is enough, 2 is enough, right? So it gives you the same thing. It gives you a win, right? By the way, for those of you who haven't been following me, you guys know, I'd like to let you know that I'm a fan of split pushing, right? So what I did right here is I placed my Geralf's Messenger right there on the top because he's already placed his defenders at the bottom. We're going to win this interaction by pushing, counter pushing. That was a bad placement right there. Pause. This was a good idea. No, I'm not patting myself at the back. Putting the skull catapult at the back while the spider was here was a pretty good idea. But the problem is the positioning was incorrect. Could have been better if it was here so that it could have reached the tank creature, right? And therefore give it some damage. But what I did was I placed a circle of pain to stall the advancing opponent and give myself some breathing room. Now, look at what he did. He tried to win this trade right there up top by placing a skull catapult, which was a bright idea, especially that the skull catapult will counter the Giralf's messenger because Giralf's messenger is only attracted to buildings. I hope you're getting the concept so far. When the game was initially released, there are a lot of people who said that in order for you to win the game, you'll just have to spam creatures. No, that's not the case in most cases. Some cases it might just work, right? Hold on, pause. All right, so you'll notice that he placed his Ninja of the Deep Hours right there, and as a counter, I'm not gonna put the bird or the spider, but I'm going to put this, right? Because it's attracted to the building, and I'm going to win that trade. Because that ninja will die from both the tower aggro and right from the skull catapult. His creatures are advancing. Notice what I did there. I placed a spider right there to attract the attention of the player, or of the planeswalker rather, while I have my archer here on the side. And of course, we're gonna win that trade. So now that we've won the trade, I have Vraska and the spider, and I have a lot more options, right, available to me. I activated Vraska's ability to sort of escape the to escape the circle of pain. And you notice what I did there. I know that the messenger is going to revive soon, so I placed the skull catapult, which is a building. Right, so far we've been winning our trades. All right, now this is a difficult decision to make. This is a good move on Fumok's Tuti's part. He placed the ninja, and my skull catapult will not appear until I drop something, until I cycle a card. So what do you do? If you were me, what would you do? That was a delay. I reacted late to the creature, so it did some damage to my tower, and then he placed a circle of pain, which is a great way to, I guess, defend. But yeah, we won that trade. See, I managed to bring two other creatures with me. And now that it's Manastrike time, I can already place that building right there. Okay, good. Because I can generate more mana than him. You watch out for how often you use your Planeswalker, okay? Because your Planeswalker is a special character. You don't want to use it. You don't want to use up your Planeswalker cards right away, because it's not gonna do you any good. So you learn how to use it properly. So far we've won the trades. We've already deleted the tower at the bottom, slowly but surely. And now my goal is to simply defend. At this point, I know that the only creature removal or tower removal spell that he has is Circle of Pain, and it's gonna take a while for him to destroy my tower using Circle of Pain. There, he tries it, but it's a little too late. There you go. Now, for those of you who might be thinking, nah, that wasn't an impressive win. There was nothing nice about that because there was no Michael Bay effects where all of the towers were exploding and what have you. But we still won, and we used our intellect, our ability to effectively trade in order for us to win the game. And that's what trading is all about, right? There's nothing wrong with being a proactive player, But there's also plenty going on for those who know how to react properly, and trade their trade properly against their opponents. There you go. Alright, I hope you guys learned something from that video. If you have any requests about which content you'd like to see next, please make sure to put them in the comments below. Continue supporting the channel by liking and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Exalt signing off. Peace.